Now let's be honest, Minecraft is a really fun game. There's tons of things that are really enjoyable about it, but one thing that isn't quite so fun is dying. So today we're going to try our best to make a redstone contraption that makes dying more enjoyable? Yeah, that sounds good. So here we have our rather lovely looking bed, and next to it you can see we have the beginnings of a slime block launcher, which I promise you is actually going to be useful. But first, I just want to make sure that I can actually respawn on top of a slime block. Okay, that's brilliant. So that means that this right here is going to be the spot where we're going to be. So we're going to place a whole bunch of dispensers around this thing. A lot of this build is just going to be based on dispensers. And I think the first thing that we're going to need is some form of input. That can be this button right here. And I actually think that button might connect into all of these dispensers due to the fact that it's also kind of semi-powering this block, which means that that could be the first contraption. Let's just say, if I was to use this as a redstone contraption, I would get some funny looks in the office. I can feel a slight breeze down in the nether regions. I think we're going to need some extra redstone right here, and I imagine it's just going to be as simple as something like that. Right, let's clear out the inventory, and that's a little bit more like it. Fantastic. So after that, obviously, we're going to need some form of tools. Now, I imagine I can just have a dropper here and a dropper here, and then just a little bit of glass right here to stop those items from flying off. And that will be like a pickaxe, an axe. I guess we should probably have a shovel as well. And a sword, obviously. So 4 dispensers going around like that. And that will drop all of those items in. Those are like the essentials, and that makes sure that they go into your inventory straight away. They need to be like one of the first things that go in. This thing is starting to look a little bit more substantial. So we've got the shulker boxes. This one is the bows. This one is the swords. That one is for axes. That one's for shovels. And that one down there is for pickaxes. And also, I swapped out the chest plates for elytras because of this slime block launcher. That's the whole reason for it. So if we kill ourselves right here, we should see, we respawn, hit this button, and boom, fully equipped with a bunch of stuff. It has come in a bit of a strange order. Maybe I could mess around so that we get these tools on a line, then we get the shulker boxes. But for the time being, that's pretty good going. That's much better. That worked perfectly. Awesome. But it doesn't stop there, because we need some multiples of items. So this right here is going to be the multi-item dropper, and that's going to give us the arrows, it's going to give us the fireworks, the food, and I'm sure there's something else that we need more than one of. Oh, we could probably do with the shield as well. Maybe I could place that there? Yeah, that will actually get powered. That works perfectly. Then we just have a water stream running across. Right, so let's just see how much would come out in this situation right here. So we have got 4 different droppers, all with the arrows on the inside. And if we hit the button, you would have thought after like 2 or 3 years, no, longer than that, probably about 4 years of the comparator clocks being in the game, I would know to put it in subtract mode, but clearly not. Right, let's try again. Okay. I kind of want a rounder number than that. Just a tight, like 32, half a stack. That would have been perfect. One more tick. Okay, I've made some changes to the redstone, so we respawn, we hit the button, everything comes in. 32, yes! Oh, that is cool. That is perfect. Okay, so we've got half a stack exactly. And the way that we've done that is literally just by adding a bit of a pulse extender right here, which does add 1 tick of redstone delay. That's all it does. It adds 1 extra tick to the length of the pulse, so it goes from being 15 ticks of pulse to 16 ticks of pulse, which means that we get 32 right there. Perfect. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All of these droppers have been filled with all of their items, so now the last thing that I want to do, or at least the last thing for the time being, is I want to set up the slime block launcher. So we're going to have a falling edge monostable circuit right here, but then we're also going to need a decent length of delay running into it just to make sure that we actually have all of the items, because we don't want to be launched off into the distance before we've actually picked everything up. Now, I reckon that should hopefully be enough. Maybe we could take it out in this direction a little bit as well. Yeah, I suppose adding an extra few ticks here and there couldn't hurt too much. We'll take it right the way out to the edges. And there it is. That is the circuit, and that is the length of the delay. I actually think that might be a little bit too short. Right, let's give it another test. Number of times I've killed myself during today's video. Right, we respawn, we hit the buttons. Now that was pretty good. So, the only thing is that we didn't get... We only got 24 fireworks. We only got 9 bits of steak. Yeah, that's not particularly brilliant, actually. Once again, I've had to change some things up because the droppers weren't firing due to the fact that it was solid blocks on top of them, and droppers and dispensers are really strange when it comes to buds and things like that. So I've basically avoided all buds by doing it a little bit like this. And hopefully we should now see... Yes! Look at that! Now that is epic. we got the perfect setup right there. But my shield didn't dispense. Do I actually need a shield? Because the thing is it is going to take up a spot in the inventory. I suppose the arrows don't need to be there. I don't think there's any way that I can change the order here, unless, of course, I added... No, see, that because these are all interconnected. I have also noticed that in the previous test, we didn't actually get ourselves a sword, so I had to rewire this entire section right here to make sure that A, I actually get fireworks in my inventory, B, I get a shield and a sword, and C, everything comes in properly. You guys know the drill by now. We hit the button... That was a success. A massive, enormous success. I totally thought I was flying for ages then. I thought I'd flown away off into the distance. And actually just gone through into creative. The only thing is, I kind of think that should be the order. I'm so painfully perfectionist on these sorts of projects. Well, I've been doing a bunch of rewiring and a bunch of changes, and I just seem to be making things worse. I mean, what sort of order is that? I don't even understand how that order has happened. I feel like I'm gonna go totally insane. I cannot get this to work how I want it to work. I just want a perfect order, that's all I want. I've made the decision to take out one of the shulker boxes because half of our inventory is going to be completely empty, so if we're picking up our old items, we can fill up this part of the inventory and then use the other shulker box that we've got to fill up any of the other remaining items. We don't really need 2 shulker boxes. So if we hit this button right here... That was so close. That was so close to what I want it to be. The only slight changes I would make is that probably, and maybe that. I know, I'm really splitting hairs here, but I just want it to be perfect. I just so want it to be perfect, and I don't know if it's going to be possible due to the randomness of things being dispensed. If we try it out again, there you go, we just got a perfect order. So, there really isn't anything that I can do on this one. I've been fighting a losing battle this entire time because we literally just got the perfect order. Arrows always go into the inventory because of the way that we've set it up. We've set it up so that we get steak and fireworks right at the very start. There's some of those inside these dispensers right about here, which means that they instantly get put in the right place in the inventory. And then the shulker boxes are up at the top, so they go in the last position. And then we've got the shields and the shovels, which seem to be fairly interchangeable in these 2 locations right here. But we've got ourselves a pretty consistent order right here. It's not too bad. It's workable. The right things always end up in the right places. So I guess now we should actually do a legitimate test. So here is the plan. We are falling down into the void right now. We're having a bit of a rough time. And as you can see, unfortunately, yeah, it hasn't gone too well. So we respawn, we hit this button right here. We get all of the gear that we need. And then we can launch off into the distance and pick up our new items straight away, knowing that we are fully equipped with everything that we may need to take on the mobs that are wearing our armor and everything like that. This has been a success. I am a little bit upset that we couldn't get the order quite perfect. I imagine we might have been able to do it if we had spaced out the droppers a whole bunch and made this machine absolutely massive. But if we actually pop into game mode 0 here, you can see that the machine itself, yeah, it's pretty compact. It's a tiny little thing. It's only 4 blocks wide. We've managed to keep all of the redstone nice and neat, and it looks really, really cool. So I hope that you've enjoyed this little redstone video right here. It was a ton of fun to create. If you did, please sure to hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later. Oh, and check out the latest film on the filming channel.